All right. Hey, everyone. James Gardiner here. This is another Heroes on Vitality. This is the show where I sit down with some amazing health and wellness people that live by design, people that operate high vibe, who are here to be of service in each of their own arenas, whatever that is for them, to make the world a better place and to increase our units of happiness, which to me is the holy grail of showing up in life. So today's episode, we're going to talk fitness. We're going to talk health and wellness, all of those things. My guest today joining me, she is a fitness professional. She's a nutrition coach. She is a health and wellness advocate, mother of two, which is a full-time job unto itself, as we know, and a champion of just living your authentic life and showing up. Please welcome with me today, Jen Grossi. Jen, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, James?
Oh, I'm doing great. Doing great. How are you? Now, you're coming to us from the East Coast.
Yes.
Where are you again?
I'm in Niagara, so I'm not far from Niagara Falls.
Right. You are near one of my old stopping grounds, the old St. Catherine's Boathouse in
Yes.
Canadian Henley.
Yeah. I see the rowers on my walks.
Yes. Don't open up that door because I'll go down a road and we'll be talking rowing for the next half an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. Jen, you why don't you share a little bit about just who you are? What I introduced you, obviously a fitness professional, nutrition coach, but what do you do? What is it that you do for your clients and your active service here in this world?
So I have been into fitness and nutrition since, I'm not going to put a number on it because that'll age me. So for the last couple of decades, which sounds kind of impressive, I got into fitness in high school. So it was a grade 11 girls fitness class that really spurred my interest. I was mediocre at sports, but I had rhythm. So fitness and aerobics was my thing. And as I enjoyed it more at home and in university taking classes, I saw a real interest in helping others navigate that world. So I took my personal training certification and instructing in nutrition kind of all around the same time, and got a gig at a local gym, personal training. And what I really enjoyed about that was working one-on-one, but what I missed in the personal training world was moving. And that's where I started with the fitness instructing more so, because I loved that. I loved interacting with a group and the music and the movement and putting it all together and making it fun, because oftentimes, people show up for personal training sessions. And this was, back in the day when you're starting off with beginners and things are fairly standard. And when you're working one-on-one with someone, you can push them really well. When you're working with new clients regularly, just starting on their path. So it's a path they may stay on or may not. They may enjoy it or they may not. So the group fitness people, they're out there to have fun and get fit. And the nutrition to me is just, I really like that piece of it, because oftentimes that's the missing piece of the puzzle. People are working out to get stronger, to get fit, sometimes to lose a bit of weight. And unless they have that nutrition component, and it's not necessarily about eating less, it's about what you eat, when you eat, and all sorts of stuff. So there's a lot of great things that go into that.
Yeah, let's dive into that a little bit, because we will get into your backstory a little bit. But here you are today in this current landscape. What do you see? So, fitness professional. I've been a fitness professional for decades as well. But we see things. I'd love to get your take on some of the common denominators that get in people's way, because everybody should be able to acquire health, wellness, fitness. It's there for everybody. But like you're saying, nutrition, there's things that people don't do or stop them from achieving what they want. What do you see with some of the people that you've worked with in your time?
So I see a lot of misinformation. That's a
Mm,
big piece, and making it too hard. So, for instance,
mm,
you know, it's making the process more challenging than it is. Like less, not so attainable, and it really is attainable because it can be simple. It can be simple changes. And I really like what I'm seeing out there right now in the Instagram world that I'm following, the people that I'm following, because that's what they're talking about are these small changes that can really lead up to big results. But when people come to me, they've done the 8 week no sugar, they've done the low carb, they've done keto, they've done, low fat in the 90s, and they're confused. What fits, because most of those things, especially if you have a partner, if you live with someone else, even if you live on your own and you're influenced by those around you going out for dinner, those kinds of diets don't fit in the long term for most people. For some people it works. Okay, so
mhm.
but I'll generalize and say for the most part your keto diet may not work for you long term or your social setting. But what has worked for my clients are those small changes. So I'm going to be consistent throughout the week and on the weekend. And I'm going to plan knowing that I have a business lunch on Monday. I'm going to eat what's served to me. I'm not going to have a drink, probably not because it's a work day. I'm going to skip dessert then because I know I'm going out for dinner on Saturday night, and I'm going to choose wisely what I'm going to have, but something I enjoy, so that you're not restricting yourself Monday through, say, Thursday. And then come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're like, okay, well, now I can have whatever I want because I was so good during the week. So, uh, what I've seen works is consistent behavior and doing that regularly, and small changes, because the small changes are really key.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Small changes. There's a reason why fundamentals work in
Yes.
every sport discipline. There's a reason why you're building a business, whatever it is, working personal growth development. You start with the fundamentals, and
Yes.
those ABCs never disappear. And Olympic rowers still do the same drills that a learn to row person does. They never not. So with that, uh, I love what you say, because I think society, actually, I don't think, I actually know society, it's always about the latest gimmick or the lipstick on a pig, of how to be healthy, and try this and try that. I have to just share this because it made me laugh. I saw something the other day where there was this in-home fitness piece of equipment, and it was a bow. It was literally like a bow and arrow, but it was a bow that you would do stuff with, right? And it was shaped, and it had all this tensor strength and all this mumbo jumbo. And I'm like, really? People pay for this.
Yeah.
People pay for this. And it boggles my mind, because if we do just take the approach of, like, there's ABCs to losing weight. There's ABCs to training for a marathon. There's ABCs to just living a more healthy, active, vibrant lifestyle. And you and I were talking beforehand, and let's talk about this again. Is there's 24 hours in a day. The hour that we show up in the gym is actually one part of a greater whole, and sometimes it's honestly the easiest part of the greater whole. So talk about that, Jen.
So I think that 1 hour that you're putting into your fitness, I think you have to look at that as that's not the game changer. That's something great you're doing for your body, to build strength, for your mental health. It's such a great exertion. It's good for your body. But that's not the whole package. The whole package is like, are you sleeping? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you going for a walk just to get some fresh air? Are you getting your vitamin D? Are you having quality time with your family? And are you nourishing your body? I don't have to tell any client that you shouldn't eat fast food every day. Like, if that's your problem, I think there's other things going on that, you may be best to work with someone professionally, right? To get your mind wrapped around that. The biggest piece really, James, is what can you do for your whole self to really, sorry, to really, to focus on you, not just that 1 hour.
Right.
And if you are just ticking a box at the gym, you're still doing some benefits. If you're moving your body, you're still, there's benefits to that. The way I like to look at the gym time is to give it all. Not every day you're going to do that, especially women. There are going to be times, usually, based on cycle, that you are going to not push as heavy of weights. But when your body is telling you it's time to push those weights, get your mind and muscle connected and give it your all. And then that next stretch of the day, you're focused on, okay, where can I get my sleep? Is my sleep disrupted? How can I help my sleep? What are the things I can do to make myself feel better? So then I can show up for the other people in my life 100%. Because that's, with 2 young kids, I don't always get that time. But if I can, figure out how the movement works in my day, it doesn't have to be gym time. I just mean movement, and how we can feed a family and build on nutrition, like that all works together.
Yeah. And it is a 24/7 game to some degree. I mean, if we do want to live to our potential, we need to understand that there's 168 hours in the week, and time is the one thing we cannot control, and time is the one thing that we can't get back. How do we optimize ourselves? As you're saying, like if it's a wheel, if it's a big pizza wheel and there's 12 slices of pizza and 1 slice is the workout or 2 is the workout, there's all these other ones that are there that someone like yourself gives counsel or advice on how to optimize. Because I think the important thing is we all show up to the dance with a certain number of pieces of that pie ticked, and we're not all the same. And that's where someone like you can come in and analyze and say, okay, hey, Mary, you get great sleep, but you're not fueling properly. You're not refueling properly, or whatever it is, or you're not eating consistently enough, or the nutrition is, your nutritional Da Vinci Code isn't working for you. Like, let's try this. And I think that it's an experiment for all of us. And Jen, I know that you will agree with me that people want the quick fix, and the quick fix doesn't exist. It can exist possibly short term, but there's not longevity there. And health and wellness is an individual journey.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
And you want it to be sustainable. Like it's very easy to say you'll lose 8 pounds in 8 weeks, and you can do that. And that is a really great feeling. But what feels awful is that in 8 weeks after that, you're back to where you started and you feel deflated. And so if you can focus on other things besides necessarily weight loss, like, and I'm not talking about weight loss for heart health, if you have issues, I'm talking about regular, you've got some COVID pounds on, you want to lose them. I'm telling you, if you can look at your overall diet, look at your lifestyle, and you can start to see, with some guidance, what kind of patterns that you can change, again, without feeling restriction, because restriction is not sustainable.
That's right.
Okay. So it's often I'm asked that when I run a program, like a 4-week challenge, they're not weight loss challenges. They're usually some type of nutritionally based challenge. But what happens after the 4 weeks? Well, we just spent 4 weeks focusing on positive changes. Are you drinking enough water? Are you getting in your greens? What does your plate look like? Things like that. And those are lasting changes. They don't have to be every day, right? So remember that dinner out. But what you might find is that dinner out, instead of having a burger and fries and dessert and an appetizer and a few glasses of wine, instead that dinner out in a couple months is going to look like, I'm going to have a burger, maybe some fries, but no appetizer. And I'm not going to have wine, but I am going to have dessert. Like, that's a small change that can be significant over time if you're someone that dines out. So like little
Yeah.
shifts, but it's a mindset, right? Like if someone is promising you those fast results, they might happen, but what happens after that? You know, it's a long game.
It is a long game, and the only way to navigate a long game is exactly what you just talked about, which is some clients have to learn how to self-regulate and to learn that barter system, whatever you want to call it, in terms of, okay, let me assess my week. Like you were saying, if I have a meeting on Monday, that means I'm going to be doing this Monday. Okay, well, how do I proactively look at that, right? And say, okay, I'm going to then on Thursday is going to be my cheat day, or whatever it is. And, you know, we're going out. And as you were saying, is everyone, I truly believe, if and, you know, feel free to disagree with this, the ultimate way to longevity and health and wellness is to eventually be the captain in their own captain's chair of that journey, i.e., they have to do the work mentally in terms of understanding what that individual thing is. They have a professional like you that can help them come to terms with this, and an understanding and education and knowledge and skill set and mindset. At the end of the day, though, they have to implement themselves. They have to
Yes.
take the lead. That's where longevity, in my opinion, lands.
And it's easier said than done. And that's why, you know, when I'm working with people, it's often for a stretch of time, because it's that weekly accountability that most people need. And I don't want to say stay on track. It's a path. And I like to think of it like, you know, think of it in terms of COVID times when you're walking down a sidewalk. You're on the sidewalk, you're following the path. Oh, someone's coming along, you're going to veer off a little bit. There's your dinner. Then you're going to go back on the sidewalk, and you're going to have those ebbs and flows regularly. And that's what you have to plan for. But it is easier said than done. So it does require some accountability, right? It's hard to be accountable to yourself. It's not always the easiest. So when someone's, you know, beside you, that's why sometimes group programs are great for people, because they don't necessarily need to work with someone one-on-one, but they need people to connect with. And then they need a plan. Like, what's my life going to look like in 3 months from now? If I do these changes? Well, if you're someone that doesn't drink any water and you're going to increase your water intake, you're going to start to feel a difference in a few days. That feels great. You know, small goals, long-term goals, and accountability. And that helps put these things in place, right? Because, you know, you can, you know, your day plans can go sideways. You get an invite to go out for dinner. Well, now when you work with someone, you can have a plan. What does that dinner out look like? It doesn't have to be an all or nothing outing. You may decide, you know, you can adapt it to your lifestyle. It also doesn't have to be, I'm going out for dinner, I'm only going to have chicken and salad and sparkling water. Right? You can have fun too.
Yeah,
It all works.
that's a big thing, is how you just touched on it. Fun, play. This all, you know, this all can be done with a smile. This all can be done
Yes.
right in the gym. Yeah, not every day we you know, Olympic athletes in our gym setting, but however we can enjoy the process, and we can, you know, we can have fun, and we can look at nutrition and maybe making some of these choices of non-negotiables, as we talk about in this business, non-negotiables, and have it be fun. Have it be fun. And I think that's an important thing where, again, having that guidance, that accountability, that pat on the back, if you will, that it's okay, which I do believe, Jen, I strongly agree with you that restriction kills. Restriction is not sustainable. And and I know there's a lot of fitness professionals out there that are that fire and brimstone approach.
Yeah.
And they get their results, but at what cost?
Yeah. And that's a lifestyle though. I'm sure we both know some incredible fitness people, and they're sculpted, and that is their lifestyle. That's, those are the one-offs. When I've said, the keto diet is not for everyone, but it does work for some people, but that's not the norm. And you do have to find what works for you. I have one client who's followed keto and it works for her, and she enjoys it, and it's part of her life. And so be it. You have to find what works for you. The fitness part, it has to be something you enjoy. Lifting weights is important. Lifting weights, especially for women, but as you get older, men too, that really needs to be part of your lifestyle to keep up your bone density, so we're not expediting the bone loss. We want to be strong so we can do things still. But for regular movement, you find what makes you happy. If walking is it, a good walk and a podcast, I love that. Then so be it. You don't have to run. You can walk. You don't have to go to the gym. You can, I don't know, climb a set of stairs, go for a bike ride, figure it out.
So, we've talked about, we've talked a lot about mindset, about finding an individualized system for each of us, and how crucial that is for longevity, taking ownership over that. What I'd love to do now is, so let's take that though, and then let's apply it to our little ones. So now here you are, who shows up for your clients and steers and guides them, and maybe gives them a little bit of crap once in a while when they're slacking. How does it work with your two girls? What type of home environment have you created for your girls, and for kind of a health and wellness introductory lifestyle for them, I suppose?
Well, having girls, I'm very conscious of how I talk in the house. I've been definitely called out on some things, even labeling something as healthy and being, confronted with, well, I want this, but that's not healthy. And so I've done a lot of work personally to take labels off things. So, we have non-negotiables. So think in terms of packing lunches. So do you have some protein in there? Do you have your vegetables and your fruits? Everything else, that's up to you. Have you had your fruit today? Have you had your vegetables? That's important. Same with dinner time. Can I have a cookie? I don't have your cookie, but did you eat your vegetables? That's all I want to know. And that to me is, I'm giving them the nutrition, but I'm also giving them the control to say, yeah, I want cookies. This is the best example I use with kids. When you have kids over for a birthday party and serve cake after the pizza or the hot dogs, whatever you're having. And also, I'll tell you, if you serve a veggie tray at a birthday party, kids go for it. Cucumbers, carrots, don't put broccoli on there. Cucumbers and carrots, kids will go for them. They'll have their pizza, they'll have their cucumbers and carrots. You'll serve them cake. They will leave half the cake on the plate. 9 times out of 10, you will take the plates, with the cake, maybe ice cream, there will be stuff left over. When you take those same plates from adults, plates are clean, typically, unless, there's a load of icing left over. But kids are self-regulated for the most part. They know when they've had enough. They will leave half their dessert on a plate because they're full. Adults, we don't do it. We eat until until our taste buds are satisfied, not until our bellies are full. So that to me is really important, is watching that. And not, I don't mind the kids having snacks in front of the TV, but I'm also conscious if they're mindlessly coming back to the kitchen for more salty crackers. We don't use the word fat in the house unless we're talking about body fat, that has a process, that has a role in our bodies, right? Why do we have fat on our bodies? We have fat on our bodies. We're all different shapes and sizes, but it's to protect our organs. I don't weigh myself. We have a scale in the house, and it's used if the kids need a dose of Tylenol. Those are things, I was an avid user of the scale before I had kids, and I don't use it regularly at all. Maybe as a check-in once in a while, but it's hidden. It's used. It has a purpose. My husband and I are both work out. It's a part of our daily lives. It always has been that way. We go to the gym. We don't go to the gym to lose weight. We go to the gym because that's what we do to feel healthy and strong. And that's what my kids, a kid a few years ago called my youngest daughter fat at school. She's, a lean kid by no means. But that caused a kid who's a bit anxious grief, and still does. The kid brings it up. Now that's partly due to some frustration over, being name called, but she wonders, am I fat? Well, yeah, you have fat on your body to protect your bones. You got to protect your internal organs. Like, I know these are big topics, but they're really important, because as these girls get older, and I'm sure boys will face this as well, or do face this, but my relation is with having young girls. This is really important. Kids at between 8 and 13 shouldn't be on a regular workout routine. They should be moving to have fun. They should be involved in sports and running around. And, screen time isn't a problem in my house, but it could be for some. And because kids are interested in that, but they have to find some movement. The nutrition is really, treats are great. Treats are meant to be enjoyed. But for the most part, I have control over our meal times. And I read a really great tip not long ago. Kids will always find their carbs. So, a pasta meal is great, but if you can make sure that they've got a good protein source, whether it be vegetarian or animal, and some veggies to choose from, you can put the dessert on the table at the same time if you choose to have something, or cut up fruit and let them choose. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to choose a bit from everything. Broccoli is also non-negotiable in the house, so they got to choose a couple pieces, right? But
so you've created a nurturing ecosystem at your residence. So myself having 2 girls as well, the issue where it became a challenge for us back in the day was when they go out of that environment, when they are over friends' houses for dinner, when they go to birthday parties, when they go, they would see me eat a plant-based dinner and be excited about that. And then they go to a party, and I know specifically with my oldest, she would then have anxiety about having a hot dog.
Yeah.
Right?
So I've really tried to watch how I'm talking to the girls. So when we do have meals like that, or we are out, my oldest one wouldn't bat an eyelash. My younger one would question it. Well, can I have that? Or should I have that? Yes, go ahead, have the hot dog. You're meant to have meals like that sometimes. We don't eat that. Those are sometimes foods, not all the time foods, and I'm hoping to set this up so that when they face those years they may start to feel self-conscious. I really don't want them to. I want these girls to be confident. I struggled with that when I was younger, feeling like having some of those thoughts, being conscious about food, going through this low fat phase. Like, I think Atkins, I want bacon and eggs for breakfast. I think the culture is changing. You're seeing a lot more of body positivity.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing younger people more in tune with their health and what they're eating and working out as part of their overall lifestyle. So I feel like we're heading in the right direction out of the McDonald's era. But again, that fits. You're going on a road trip. Here, let's stop at McDonald's. There's something for everyone. I don't know.
So yeah, true. So here's a question, I don't mean to put you on the hot spot or
Yeah.
hot seat rather
Yeah.
here, but you know, how do all right. I'll put myself on the hot seat. I won't put you on the hot seat. I
Oh
mean,
no, I'm good.
well,
I'm
like
good.
here's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
I know, like a hot dog. There's no one, no Nobel Prize, no nominee out there could tell me that a hot dog does anything nutritious for my body.
Nope.
Period. Right. And so I think the dilemma for some fitness people out there and professionals and also just people in general, it's like, it is about balance. I'm totally with you about having this kind of harmonious thing, but it's like, really? Like, what? It's just like, so I want my girls to go, because I had hot dogs when I was a kid, steamed hot dogs down in Wickford, like used to walk to the bridge, get them when it was a kid thing,
Yeah.
right? Ride our bikes into town. And I want my kids to live a kid life because we never get that back.
Yeah.
And it cringes me when I know they're having a hot dog. I don't like it. I'm like, oh.
But I think that's kind of part of it. I resisted that for a long time, but that's where it is the sometimes, I'm trying to think of a meal. Like we're not ones to stop at McDonald's, to be honest. Like I'm the one that packs sandwiches for a 3-hour road trip or whatever it might be. But when they go out with their grandparents, sometimes they stop at McDonald's. Like that's, I look at it more in terms of an experience. I don't love it. And in fact, because we don't eat that way, it doesn't make them feel good.
Yeah. True.
A bigger challenge in my house is, why is mom not eating that? I started having pizza with them when we make pizza, but I modify it to suit my taste buds. And, pizza doesn't always make me feel good. So I make a different variation of it. On one of their birthdays. Why is mom not having birthday cake? I don't like birthday cake, but I had a small piece of birthday cake because I don't want them to see me not eating. Especially certain things like that. Are they going to see me eating a hot dog? Probably not. I don't like them. But that's fair to say. I don't want the cake, but that's like being at a social setting. Have the cake. Have the cake. Well, have the cake if you want it, but I don't want the cake. So
She says it in a whisper.
If you hand me a glass of wine, I'll take the wine. But don't hand me a piece. I don't want the cake.
Cake,
wine,
cake,
so
wine.
I look at those things like we're not going to stop at McDonald's. I'm not going to do those things, but they might do it with the grandparents. We don't usually have hot dogs at home. But they're at a birthday party, they're going to have a hot dog. It's going to happen. I'd rather them have that variety in their lives. Not to say hot dogs have to be part of their variety, but I'd rather have them be knowledgeable. You make good choices most of the time. Sometimes you eat different things.
Yeah.
They are going to eat them. And we have a peanut allergy in the house, so we're very conscious. We read lots of labels, and questions come up with those labels. Why do we only have Fruit Loops when we're at the cottage, right? There's no sugar cereal in our house, but there's a treat when we go to a cottage. Makes
Fruit
me
Loops
nuts.
at the cottage. I love that.
Fruit Loops at the cottage, but that's it. But that's a treat they look forward to, and
yeah, I get it. It's just it's interesting, right? Because I mean, we're surrounded by endless unhealthier choices.
Yeah.
Right, and we have to. I think there's a concession to make. Again, right? It's being at peace with whatever that balance is for each of us. So.
Yeah, and you educate them. Get them involved in cooking, get them involved in baking. so that they're interested in doing that, so they can taste the difference between like a store-bought muffin versus a homemade muffin that
Yeah.
might be dry at times, but it doesn't taste like a cupcake.
Right.
There's a difference. There's nutritional value, and I explain the things that go in, whether they're really hearing me or not. I know at some point in time they're going to be like, "Hey, there's hemp hearts in these things. I know what they do for me."
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, parents, the best thing they can do is just lead by example and just, show up with like you are, with a healthy approach, not just in the way that what you're putting in your body, but also the way that you're approaching the topic, the way that you and your husband choose to have a fitness lifestyle, like a gym workout lifestyle, as part of your overall thing. And we just have to trust. We have to trust that we're providing some good bricks along their journey,
Yeah.
which is, to tie this all up, which is exactly what you do for adults, because many adults out there need those bricks too, and it's okay. It's okay not to understand. It's okay for adults to need accountability, and to need guidance and knowledge and support. And I think ultimately that's what we do. We offer that. We offer support and a safe space for people to come and to experience what it is, what their individual journey can be like. And that's what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
So Jen, to wrap this up, is what could you leave us? There's going to be people out there. There's going to be your community, my community. Obviously, we'll have in the show notes, we'll have ways that people can get in touch with you, because you do a lot of work online as well. And I know there's people out there that are curious and or maybe need a little inspiration to really take that step. What could you offer to them here to close us out?
To take it slow, strip away all the noise,
Mm.
all the gimmicks, all the marketing, no fast fixes, and really pay attention to what your body needs. Think about it. Look at what you're eating, look at what you're doing, and start with one thing. Okay? If you have to start, you have to start somewhere. So what's one thing that you know innately that you can change that would improve your nutrition right away?
Mm.
And I bet you could come up with one thing. And that's a start. And that's all you need to do to start. You don't have to change everything at once. One thing.
Love it. It is about that one thing. And the one thing you can do, anyone out there can do, is make the conscious effort to take that first step.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on the other side of that fear, that unknown, that anxiety, is where your play, your joy exists, and health and wellness and everything that comes with it. So, Jen, thank you for sharing your story a little bit, and your passion and your active service here in this beautiful world to help others with us today. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right. And for all of you tuning in, thank you so much for joining us as usual. And you will find me and another guest coming at you soon. All right. Mad love to the courageous. Thank you, Jennifer. See you soon.
Thank you.